comfortable with that. You believe in equal justice for everyone. And as long as that rule of law is there, we will follow that rule. And that's it. It reduces the anxiety and the problems that people have in identifying. Obama is struggling with enforcing laws of the United States of America. Yeah. He's the President of the United States. Right. For God's sakes, you're charged with enforcing the laws of America. As governor, under Article 4, Section 3 of the Constitution, I am charged with enforcing the laws of the state of New York, equitably and fairly, and I will do that.
Thank you. David, the question just came up about abortion. What's your stance on the abortion issue?
You know, this is a very complicated issue, and there's lots of views in the room. So I'm against federal funding for abortion. I'm against parental notification, and we need to stop the partial birth abortion. But doctors, in the end, the choice ends up being between the woman and her doctor. That's my view.
Carl, what do you intend to do with MTA payroll tax?
MTA is a joke. I've got two researchers working on it. It started with the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, okay? I was over in Staten Island, and somebody told me it cost them $11 every day to go to work in Buster.
Oh my God.
And I said, I mean, I thought it was bad on Grand Island, which is up in Buffalo. We have bridges linking to Grand Island. It costs $1 to get over there. I thought that was intrusive. So I said, where's this money go? We found out that the bridge is managed by the MTA, and really the tolls that they're taking on the Verrazano Narrows go to this sinkhole called the MTA and their train system, which just gobbles up money because of political waste and just an abundant amount of abuse and waste. I guess they laid off so far, on one of the articles that I read, they laid off 3,000 people, and they didn't even blink, laying off 3,000. They have conductors, and conductors that have a paycheck of $66,000 a year, and the average overtime captured by these conductors last year was an additional $120,000 in addition to their base pay. It is one big mess. It's going to take some real heavy lifting, okay? But we're going to go right after the MTA because the MTA is probably the poster child, being the worst run authority in the state of New York.
Exactly.
I'm going to cook you a little more.
Two added points. I rode the subway this morning. It was jam-packed. There is no way they could be losing money on that thing. They should be able to pay money into the state coffers, and it can only be because of the mismanagement that Carl is talking about. I want to add to the payroll tax problem that businesses are facing. You know, Gillibrand is pushing forward. I blame her for things because if she didn't want it to happen in Washington, it wouldn't happen. She's providing the 60th critical vote. An individual senator in the Democratic Party could stand up and stop this catastrophe. They've got this huge tax increase coming at us at the end of the year. And it's going to add to the problems of the payroll tax because they're taking away the deductibility of mortgage interest of the state, of the deductibility of state cap, and so it's adding higher rates and less deductibility, and it goes on top of the payroll tax they're already getting here in New York State. It's crazy.
Do you feel like the times are changing? I mean, no, seriously, I want you to know that, I mean, this kind of a meeting in prior elections, it's
Right.
okay? People were not upset like we are today.
Right.
I mean, this is a whole different world.
There's not enough people
And it's gonna bounce back to the right, big time. There's gonna be a lot of. Pardon?
I'll bring the car.
The times are changing.
Carl, I have a question here that, they would like you to clarify your position on the right to work and expand upon that, your answer.
Well, maybe you can clarify to me what the specific.
Okay, who's got a specific?
What's the union rules in the town? Right to work, they mean.
Carl,
they're talking about.
you have a specific question? Carl, Carl.
You asked a compound, confusing question about right to work laws and something else. Education. As far as right to work, which is rarely, if ever, discussed in this state, I don't know who posed the question. To me, your answer was not clear. I assume you know what right to work legislation is, and basically, I think what you said there is that you were opposed to right to work laws in New York State. Was that your answer?
Yes.
Okay.
We're an at-will state.
Yeah, okay. That was just one question.
And I don't believe that we should have a right to work. I think that, I think it's debilitating to business expansion. I don't think employers would find any comfort at all in changing our.
Well, you might very well be right, but historically, most employers favored the right to work, such as in Arizona and a number of other states, where most progressives would certainly be opposed to right to work law. I would think that I'm a union worker, by the way, as it turns out, I'm a Teamster. But again, I historically have supported right to work legislation. I understand the complexity for some larger businesses to deal with individuals, and that they would like a union to deal with one entity. And I guess that is your position.
We have made New York so uncomfortable for the employers. We have the most disabling workers' compensation laws and rules here, okay? We have this silly scaffold law, and plus, they combine the pools, New York City pool, with the upstate pool. They probably should be two separate pools. Because certainly the New York City pool, all right, is being subsidized by upstate. And it's debilitating the upstate business. You know, I mean, New York City in and of itself is, in the way they treat comp cases, as though, I mean, you would have to bring a battery of lawyers in there, okay, to fight off an award to the employee.
But that has nothing to do with the right to work law. That's something else.
You know, I realize I'm getting off the path there, but I'm talking about all the onerous and right to work means that an employer would have some difficulty in getting rid of a person.
Does your question relate to the issue we're discussing right now?
The right to, caller, the right to work law, referring to that, is my right as a citizen of New York State to not belong to a union. That's what I meant by it. The closed union shop where, when I worked, like for instance, I'm retired from New York City Police Department. Whether or not I was in the PBA, I had to pay PBA dues. And in New York, companies all over have contracts with. When you go to work for that company, you're automatically in a union, you have no rights. That's what I was talking about, right to work.
With at-will versus, what's the other?
Well, that's what I was clarify for you. You know, so I think you maybe didn't really.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Yes, I am. You should be free of having to join a union, yes.
Excuse me, what you just said, though, about all of it, New York State being so onerous for companies, is the reason why my children, who just graduated from two very fine colleges, Siena and Quinnipiac University, cannot find jobs. All my son's friends who graduated from Siena in May of 2009 are working not one, not two, but some of them 3 part-time jobs to put together enough money to pay back whatever student loans they may have.
Because we made it so difficult for employers to expand their business.
Exactly. And now the healthcare reform bill is going to make it even more difficult. These people cannot hire new people like my children who graduated, who have paid, who got good grades, etc. That is going to be another burden.
And Gillibrand wants to make it worse. She favors card check, which is a way to... What Obama is doing is stacking the National Labor Relations Board, which means that they are basically through the bureaucracy, creating even stronger or more anti-work steps across the country.